Maybe. Are we live? I think we're live.
Let's know if we're live, guys. There seems to be some confusion here.
Okay. Good afternoon, Rebecca. And Greg and Donna.
Hi, guys. Thanks for coming in already.
Welcome in. I see how it works. So if I put a comment up, the other screen disappears.
Perfect. Okay.
Sweet.
Yes. Because I was afraid it was going to be like too busy.
Never too busy.
Yeah.
All right. And we have...
Hi, Robbie and Sonia.
You beat me to it.
I could see it on the phone before I could see it.
I was going to say, I knew there was a pop-up, but I couldn't see it. Hi, guys. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you,
Yes,
Rebecca.
we are live. I always kind of wonder because sometimes I mess up and I forget I don't have it set to public when I set it, which is, I don't know how I mess it up, but I sometimes do. And then it's like, wait a minute, I got to start over. So, all
How
right.
is everybody today? We had a beautiful day.
Yes, very
Otherwise,
nice.
Beautiful.
Beautiful here, guys. Felt like what Cindy say today, -6, but it actually
Strange
felt.
Canadians are celebrating that.
Yeah, it's the two different cameras, Robbie, and it's definitely they definitely give a different look. The
I like the main one.
main
colors.
camera is more accurate as far as
Joy.
the colors go. Hi, Joy. Welcome in. Thank you for coming to see us again. I did actually record a video today. Well, Cindy and I recorded a video today, so we're actually going to have a video go out because it was so nice in comparison that we had to get outside. We had to do something. So
Yeah, we finally did something.
and we actually had a weekend to ourselves. I know Robbie already knows this, but for Valentine's Day, we went out yesterday and we went to a live theater not too far from here. And we didn't see a play. We actually saw a Yuck Yucks performance. I don't know if there's a Yuck Yucks in the U.S. or not, but what it is, it's a comedy, live comedy show. So we got to see 3 comedians, about 90 minutes worth of laughter. So that was nice.
It was fun. It was different. We don't normally do anything like that, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a nice treat for us.
We
So
went out to eat.
yeah, we were.
I didn't have to cook.
It was crazy.
I ate a meal hot. It was nice.
Cindy commented more than once this weekend. She got to eat multiple hot meals, which was a real treat for her.
It really was.
I guess I didn't realize it was, but it came up in conversation more than once. So apparently it was a pretty big deal. So so it was nice. It was good.
Was good. And we didn't do anything productive yesterday. We just had fun. But today we got out there and we started some spring stuff.
Yes, because it actually feels like spring today.
It really does. It was 0 degrees, felt like -6, like you said. And for us, that was wonderful. The snow is starting to melt. It's getting a little mucky. That's the only part that's not so great about the melt.
Yeah,
But
I think we're almost into the muddy season. I feel like that's a whole season here.
mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it's not just mud. You like to think
Tell
it
yourself
is.
it's mud.
You tell yourself it's mud when you fall.
It's mud in the yard, but in the coops, not so much.
Yeah, and when you get into the fend areas, it's definitely not mud. Well, I mean, it's a combination. So hopefully you all had a fantastic Valentine's Day. I feel that we did, so that was really nice. And like Cindy said, we were pretty active today. I was able to, you'll see in the video if you watch it, but for those that don't watch the videos and just come to the lives, we did get our rain barrels out, and we got some sheeting off of the aviaries so that the sun and the wind could get in, and you could actually hear the joy that the birds. I mean, Cindy laughs at me but I could hear it. I could hear it with the poultry, the turkeys, the chickens, etc. You could almost hear like a happy sound.
That's birds chirping in the spring kind of thing.
Yeah, they're getting sun, they're getting air, so it was nice. And
Yeah,
it was a good.
I'm super excited about the water barrels.
Yes, and hopefully we'll get some more laying going on because we did see a couple more eggs today in places we haven't seen them for a while. So now the one coop, I think they're still doing a lot of. They're still bouncing back from their molt, so we're still not getting a lot there. I don't even think we got 2 up for the one coop today, which is pretty crazy. But hopefully we'll get a few later on. They always tend to lay later. It's kind of funny because there's the one coop, we call it the side coop because it's kind of the side of the property, and then we have one out in the front yard. And the one in the front yard, they always lay a lot later in the day than the ones on the side. And I don't know if it's because they're shaded more or maybe it's the time of day the sun hits more. I have no idea why. But there is a difference, and it's probably a couple hours difference when they actually start laying heavier. So it's kind of weird. But
it probably is something to do with the light and the temperature and all that. Or they just have different personalities.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of them are the same type of bird. So anyway, that was our day today.
Yeah, that was our accomplishment.
That was our accomplishment today.
We felt good.
Yeah, very. You can, I don't know if you can tell, guys, you almost feel happier, right? Because it's almost felt like we've been in a state of hibernation. I said to Cindy, the last actual video we put out was on January 10th, and when we had the first thaw after the initial snow we got, and in that,
nobody wants to go out there with a camera in the middle of snow, and there's nothing that we can do out of the ordinary either. It's just regular chores, and can't film that every day.
And to be able to go out and not be in real discomfort, because when it's minus 28 to minus 35 type of thing, and you're trying to do stuff outside, and you're only out there a matter of minutes before your nose feels like it's going to fall off, or your fingers start to ache so badly. And
gloves or no gloves, fingertips really hurt.
Exactly. So there is that aspect of it.
So is anyone else getting spring weather? I'm so happy we have.
Robbie has just mentioned it's rained there last night, and this morning it stopped while I was in church. Okay. We are actually expecting rain this week, Robbie. Yeah. We're pretty excited about that, actually.
So was your rain welcome? Because we are excited and welcoming ours. We need to fill those barrels.
Yeah, exactly. And Joyce said they're starting to have some spring-like temperatures.
Nice. It makes all the difference.
Yeah, I just hope it's done. I mean, I know we're kind of jumping the gun, biting at the bit type of thing to try to do something outside. But at the same time, we looked at the 2-week forecast. It looks pretty promising as far as being in or around the freezing mark. And that puts us really till almost beginning of March.
Yeah, and it's take us to March 1st.
Typically middle of March is when things tend to change here because, in the past, I remember going away March break and it'd be snow and you come back and it'd be melting and you're pretty much to the end of it. So
only 16.67 there today.
Only 16.67 degrees Celsius. So yes. 10 basically, 16 degrees warmer than it is here.
Sounds nice.
I would take that.
Yeah.
I would take that very much so.
69 blue skies. Blue sky also makes all the difference.
Exactly.
It's getting a little clouded over now, but we had blue earlier.
Yeah, where we sit here in the office, there's a small window ahead of us, so we can kind of look out and see a little bit of what's happening outside.
Robbie says basically the rain was welcome. That's awesome. Yeah, because we haven't had rain for months.
It's interesting too. I was watching, tried to get caught up on a few videos this week, and I know I was watching one of John's videos, and he was talking about how he's trying to do some drought prevention, and he had said in his video too that they haven't had that much snow or rain this past little while. So, I mean, we've got more snow this year than we've had. I want to say in quite a few years. The first couple of years we moved out here, it was pretty bad, very sketchy as far as getting around and constantly blowing lane waves out and things like that. But then there was a stretch of, it seemed like maybe 6-7 years where there'd be the odd there was the odd year where I didn't even have to get the snowblower out. You know, I didn't have to shovel snow at all. You could get around. So this year was much more like it was when we first moved out here. It was a big difference. So I'm hoping that means we won't get as well. I don't want to say as much rain in the summer, but as much rain all at once, because the last couple of years we didn't get the snow, but my goodness, we got so much rain come all at once that we got flooded. Well, as you guys would know if you've seen the videos, we got flooded for 2 years in a row pretty severely. So,
and we had other weeks that were drought.
Yes.
So it was just not spread out well.
Wow, yeah. So, yeah, nice temps, nice temperatures, guys.
I'll take any of those.
I would welcome that soon, maybe in a couple months.
Well, we are going to get, I'm not sure what day, but within the 14-day forecast, there is one day where during the day it hits 11 degrees Celsius. And that's like, yay.
Yeah.
That's a big whoop.
That's pretty warm for around here. What do you guys think of having the two screens? I know there's a big color difference, but how does it seem? Is it too busy? Just let us know. Just because I can always shut one off if it does seem too much. Hi, Putty Cat. Welcome in. 80 degrees Fahrenheit. You know,
Nice.
I was actually just talking to a gentleman at work who just got back from Disney. I want to say maybe a week ago, and he was less than impressed with the temperatures on his vacation. Actually, there's another couple ladies I was talking to that got back from Cuba and came back with colds because they were sleeping in their clothes at the resort because they didn't have heat, and it was getting that cold there as well. So Daytona 500 is today. Nice.
So, yeah, the Olympics, the
Super
Super Bowl.
A lot going on. Yeah, and your team won the Super Bowl last week, I believe, if I remember correctly. I didn't watch it. Sorry, but
busy month.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was wondering how that would work. I was hoping it would, because what it does is when I was hoping. I guess it probably works either way because we put the one camera on the tripod and put it back farther because it just seemed way too.
It was hard to fit
too narrow.
In, yeah.
It's fine for YouTube Live, but when you go to Restream or any of those other ones, it seems like the window gets much narrower for some reason. BY4 Game and Foreign Gaming. Welcome in.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I see. Never sleeps money. Money never sleeps. I get it. I'm reading it backwards.
Oh, that is too funny. Yes. I suppose it would be backwards. Yeah. Good for you for catching that. I didn't even catch it.
I caught it and then I read it and I'm like, no, that's not right.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, thanks, Robbie. Good to know that. I wasn't sure because a lot of times I would much rather film the horizontal. Getting it right. Yeah, horizontal. I would way prefer that, but I do know that you don't get as many people popping on to say hi and things like that when you go as much as you do when you go vertical. But if you're watching on the phone, I guess vertical or horizontal does seem a lot smaller. But it is actually just the nice thing is for us, it is just a quick click of the button if we actually did want to go from horizontal to vertical and back and forth, so forth. So yeah, so Putty Cat's on the phone. So yeah, because if you were on the phone, I'm assuming to go horizontal would be less appealing. But maybe I'm wrong. I guess it depends if you're one of those people that turns your phone to watch something the other way.
Yeah, it'd be harder to type than the.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so what is the Daytona on currently, or does it come on in a bit? I guess what time would it be there? Yeah, you're in the same time zone, right, Putty Cat? I don't think you're Eastern Standard Time, I believe.
Do you have somebody you're pulling for? Favorite driver? I don't know much about it at all. But so how is, and I'm going to sound dumb, how is the Daytona different than NASCAR? Is it the same drivers competing in the Daytona, or it's like NASCAR is all year round, right?
Actually, Pretty says it is crazy. NASCAR, these guys are bumper to bumper at 190 miles per hour, literally touching bumpers. Yeah, yeah, that does sound pretty crazy.
Aria,
welcome in.
thanks for coming in.
Can I assume that you're in Iran? If you are, let us know. We're just curious. We'd like to know where everybody watches from.
Mm-hmm.
Just pulling for anyone, Putty Cat says.
Yeah, it would be an interesting thing to watch.
I have watched it. I haven't. There is a racetrack not far from here. That's obviously not NASCAR, but they do have some pretty good races, and I've watched NASCAR on TV here and there. But again, it's like everything else. I just don't have the. I don't know. As I get older, I'm starting to think I'm more ADHD than I realized. Because to actually sit down and even at our show we were watching last night at this the live comedy, I couldn't keep my legs still. I was bouncing all over the place. My tapping my toes.
I didn't mention it, but yeah.
I have a really hard time staying still. So yeah, it's.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be interesting to watch. Like, I've seen a tiny bit of NASCAR. And
Nobody says a huge wreck happened.
oh, wow. Oh.
That's.
So do they have to stop the whole thing? Or do people drive around? I don't know anything about that.
I think they'll. It's a white flag or a caution flag or something like that, and then they'll know to watch. Yeah, scary stuff. Somehow but they've got those cars, right? They've got those things set up so well with those roll cages and things like that. For the most part, those guys seem to be pretty safe in there. You'd wonder how. The only thing I think you have to worry about more so is fires and things like that.
It does happen.
Yeah.
Even to the pros.
I mean, you see a lot of the same kind of thing on I-75, right?
Caution until
Yellow flag, so caution. Yeah, makes sense.
That'd be a dangerous job to be part of the cleanup crew while they're driving around that.
Yeah, right up there, right in there with the rodeo clown.
Yeah.
It's just some of those jobs where you kind of go, "What the hell? Why would you want to do that?" But.
And is that like just a one-day event, or has it been going on all weekend?
I'm pretty sure it's just today. I think it's just a race that comes on.
Interesting.
Much safer than they used to be, especially after Dale Earnhardt wreck that he passed away. Yeah, that's right. That's very true. But on a different note, back to spring stuff. I overheard Cindy and one of her friends talking. They were talking about what they're going to plant.
Yeah, she was itching to get started. I'm more cautious and holding back. I want to start, but I told myself, hi, John.
Hey, John.
I made a note. I'm not going to start planting tomatoes before April, and I'm not starting peppers until March. Because last year I started tomatoes in March, and they grew way too big in the house, way too fast. Not going to do it this year. I'm going to hold back.
I was just talking about you earlier, John. I was just saying I was trying to get caught up on a few videos this week, and I was watching the one where you were talking about drought prevention.
Mm-hmm.
And
good advice.
Yeah, I was saying how this year was the most snow we've had in many, many years. So I'm hoping we won't get so much rain during the summer all at once, at least. Okay. So
we're learning.
Yeah, we're learning as we go. So Putty Cat's just giving us the play-by-play on the.
So basically, they're
Daytona
just
500.
like kind of on a moving pause.
Yeah. Yeah, just basically can't be racing around. But yeah, so But that'd be a nice thing right now, like we were saying before. We got those 55-gallon pails back out, be able to catch some of the rainwater and the melt.
Yeah, and I hope it warms up quickly this year so that when I do start seeds, I can get them into the greenhouse a lot sooner. Because last year it felt like it took forever to get them out there. And then it went from just warm enough to too hot.
The only thing about it, it might not be a bad thing actually, but when I built this greenhouse, guys, it's been a few years now, but where I built it, there was no trees. And there is now a very large maple on the, and what would that be? That would be this kind of southwest side of the property. And that it's in the farm field, on the edge of the field, so it's not mine to cut down and things like that. But it's just ironic because this thing, like the year after I had built this greenhouse, this thing spread on the other side of the fence. A bunch of them actually did, and it is huge now. So it actually shades the greenhouse in the afternoon, which may not be. It may work in our favor because the greenhouse is all glass, and we find it gets extremely hot in there. I've even put ventilation in that runs on, with a power fan and stuff like that to try to pull air through, just to try to keep it from being quite so hot because it's like a magnifying glass, right?
Pretty Cat says in some municipalities in the States it's illegal to catch rainwater.
Yeah, I have heard that, and
I've heard that they could thought about taxing it. I never heard it was quite illegal to catch it.
Yeah, but I think I've even heard some crazy stuff like that, even around here. In some areas around here, they actually encourage it because they don't want you to use as much of. They don't want you watering your. Because we'll get into water restrictions, not where we are, fortunately, but we do a lot to try to catch water. But in some of the towns, they will do water restrictions where you'll have even days or odd days where you can water your lawns and things like that. I mean, we're not water lawn people.
No.
My grass dies, it dies.
We're barely water garden people.
Right? If I'm catching water, it's to use for the animals or the odd little bit of gardening. But I don't water my grass. Why would I want to cut it more? But
Yeah.
if you live in town, I guess.
I think in Toronto, I read an article once. It was like the idea of taxing. I don't know. It was like horizontal ground that could catch water, like roofs, or I don't know how they would do it.
There is a certain. I know there is a certain limit to the amount of buildings on the property to do with roofs and things like that. Pretty Cat's just asking. You might want to give an update on all that.
Yes, I'm happy to update. We have all the bunnies gone to new homes, so now we have to clear out the quabbitry of the cages, and we can start setting that up for spring brooders.
Yes, so we're gonna
So it's exciting.
repurpose that building. And Pretty Cat, yes, we have carbon tax.
We have everything taxed.
We pay taxes through the nose, guys, but I think it works out to probably at least 50% of your income if you want to talk about taxes. Because if you have a decent job, you're already paying 30 to 40%, high 30s to 40% of your income. And then if you take in, high 30s, say, then you take into consideration, you go to the store and you pay a 13% sales tax. And like you said, there's the carbon tax. I'm not sure how much the carbon tax is, but there is a carbon tax as well. So we did notice that more. We have it. It's on our fuel, obviously, but we noticed it more when we get our propane, because we get our propane once a year. We have a very large tank that does us all year for heating and cooking. But we did notice a difference the first year that they brought that in, because
it seems
more
like
tax.
half of it is what you're actually buying, and the other half is tax.
They kind of brought in some kind of they took it away sort of for a while because of the the economy and things like that, just to try to help things. But
The elections.
yeah, there's always any elections, you get carbon tax Carney in there, and suddenly forgot that he was the one that put it in place. But whatever. I don't vote Liberal. Just saying.
If you haven't noticed. Hello, Tracy and Tim. And Robbie says, can't bring myself to water the yard, so I have to mow more. Don't blame you.
Yeah, why would you want to do that, right? It's and we're in clay anyway, and I don't know if
Yeah,
John's still with us, but when you're in clay, you don't need to water. It just keeps growing.
Yeah, it gets a little brown at times, but it's still there. It's alive.
Tracy and Tim, welcome in. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, so we don't water grass. There's no point. Why?
Speaking of not watering, Bert has 3 spider plants in his office that he's had for the last 2 months, and neither one of us has remembered to water it in 2 months. And the dirt is now like sand. If you pick it up, it's like absolute dryness. But they're still alive and they're still green. They're just starting to get a little paler.
They're a very pale green now, though. But I said to Cindy a few minutes ago, I really need to remember to bring water out here.
Impressive, though. If you're not much of a gardener, then spider plants are the way to go.
Yeah, there's John. Yeah, you don't need to with clay, do you, John? It just grows. The clay, the one thing about it, at least it retains moisture to, as far as if you're not so much in your garden, but in your yard where you don't disturb it, where you're not tilling and stuff, it seems to have no issue there, even when it cracks. Because I'm sure yours is the same. We get big, it almost looks like little earthquakes go through your property in the summertime, right? Because the ground cracks from being so dry. But, yeah, everything stays green, though.
Footy cut, yeah, absolutely. It has to do with taxes, I'm sure, here too. That's the only reason they legalize anything.
Oh, yeah, it's been legal here for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if the mushrooms are the next thing. Now it's, well, for quite a while now, even in the small towns, it's crazy how many pot stores you see.
Almost as many as Tim Hortons.
Yeah, like pot stores, vape stores, they're just everywhere now. Here, unlike in the States, because you guys have liquor establishments, so you can go and buy liquor anywhere, right? Here, it's up until recently, you could only buy liquor at the liquor store, which was a provincial store, the government store, and then you had the beer store, which was a chain, but
also government run.
Also government run. Then they allowed it in the grocery stores and things like that.
Still government controlled,
but it's still controlled.
Yeah,
they only certain stores are allowed to carry it, things like that. But it's not private type thing where I know from my trips in the U.S. where you'll see little mom and pop shops that's what they sell. But here, the weed and the vape stores are more like that. Like they're everywhere and they've got their own little names and it's pretty insane.
Yeah, actually, thinking of a local town, there probably is more of those shops than there is Tim Hortons.
Yeah, like some of these small shops or small towns don't have coffee shops, but they'll have these types of stores. And I don't know. I've never been in one. I won't lie. I've never set foot in one, so I don't know. I've always kind of wanted to sit outside and see what kind of traffic they have, but they make a heck of a lot of money that they don't need a lot of customers, or there's an awful lot of people that go to these places. But
probably both.
Anyway, yeah, whatever. I mean, each their own. Each their own.
Tracy, what are you planting tomorrow?
Whoa, seed planting day. Wow.
And Robbie did some prep. Nice. What did that involve? Is that like rototilling or?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Putty cat. If there's money to be made, they're in it. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're not just in it; they control it. No one else can make money.
Yeah. When did you were going to start planting, but not
until March, and that's peppers. It's also because I know they're going to sit in the house for a while until it's warm enough outside, even at night. So I only have so much space, and I just can't do it for an extra month.
They tend to get what do you call it? Like maybe we don't do a good job with the lighting
and watering. I don't know. They get lanky.
Yeah, they get
that's
long,
not the word I'm looking
tall,
for, but yeah,
whatever. They get tall and weak instead of the way you want them, right?
They live and they usually recover, but it's not what I want them to look like.
So Robbie disked up with the tractor.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
Onions, tomatoes, herbs, and cabbage. Yeah, nice. Herbs I could start sooner.
I won't lie to you. The more I watch some of John's videos too, and the way he's trying to get his soil amended, the more I think to myself I should go back to rototilling a certain patch of garden. We've got everything's raised beds,
Which I love. I
which is
love the
nice.
raised beds.
But they come with their flaws too, right? Because they don't hold the water the way the ground does. You think to yourself that there's smaller sections to weed, but you still have to get around to it. And it's not like a garden where you could just run the tiller between the rows and kind of get some of it that way. So, I mean, there's benefits and drawbacks, I guess, but they're in place. But I still think to myself, wow, maybe if I would have kept with it, stuck to it for a while.
I think it also depends on what you're planting.
Mm.
Like some things benefit from the raised beds and the looser soil, like the carrots. But other things are better right in the ground, like corn.
Yeah.
The tomatoes always did well in there too.
So some things, like Robbie says, some things are only legal because the government can get money from it, and that's exactly what it is. Because, I mean, it's like anywhere. If they don't sell it in the stores, it's not like these people aren't getting it before, right? So
now, for ours, I think it's controlled federally, right? The liquor and all that stuff.
liquor is provincial.
Is it? Okay, because I know in the States, some states have legalized some things and others haven't.
But
Is that true?
I think that's more for the pot.
Yeah.
But for liquor, like here, liquor's provincial, but the pot, I think, was federal, but then it's up to the provinces to regulate or something. I'm not sure. Something kind of, yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere, yeah.
But the good thing is you don't really smell it everywhere.
Not so much now. For a while, let's say, in the summertime you will, because you'll walk by people and you can definitely tell that they're using that stuff. But
maybe more people like do edibles.
well, that's the other side of it, right? Because it's not so much just because these stores now they have it's not just where they're when they're buying weed. It's this is the part that scares me more. It's all the edibles and stuff that you can buy because you don't want to leave that crap out and somebody else gets into it by accident. So,
Putty Cat, I do have herbs planted. I have a couple raised beds for herbs. I don't know what's going to survive the winter, but yeah, lots of chives and oregano, thyme, all that stuff. That's always nice to see flourishing. I don't usually get around to saving a lot of it, although I should. But I always grow way more than I need, but it's just nice. It's nice to walk by it. It smells nice.
yeah.
Give some away,
Yeah, they had the same type of thing here for a while too, where you could get a medical prescription. Yeah, but now I don't even think they need a prescription here. They can you just walk in the store, I think, and it's treated more like alcohol here. You can't be driving or operating equipment or all this other. Basically, it seems to be the same set of rules as if you were drinking.
Yeah. Oh, we are half an hour in. That was quick.
Yeah.
So, what more do you want to get done soon for spring? We did the rain barrels today. Super happy about that.
My plan, I need to get the brooders in place. So whatever I'm going to do for brooders, I need to get that done.
And we should start hatching soon.
Yeah, hatching. But otherwise, I don't have any big plans for any major work this year. I might do a small coop in the front, something with solid sides, a little more wing break for them. But I don't want to do anything that's going to, for one thing, draw attention. And for another thing, it is the front of the property, so I don't want anything that's too permanent. Because, if we decide to go back to just a front yard someday, or somebody else does, then this building would be nice if it was movable. But otherwise, I want to do some work in the shop because the wood stove can't keep up to the size of the shop due to the fact that it's not insulated and stuff. So,
And I'm sure there's repairs around that need to be done.
Well, there's always going to be things to fix. And I got to, may or may not get to it, but I have to do deck work. Our deck is rotting, and I've always thought I wanted to do a deck on the front of the house. So whether or not I get to doing all that this year, a lot's going to depend on how busy my work schedule is going to stay. How about you?
Well, planting. Planting, hopefully it goes well, and can sell some plants as a little side hustle, because that's really what I have going is little side hustles. And now the rabbits are gone, so basically plants are all I have.
So Tracy and Tim says chives or oregano, parsley should have survived.
I think so. I hope so. Well, I have them in the raised beds, but I also have them, the extras left under the pear tree. So I think even if the ones in the raised beds got killed off, the ones under the tree will survive.
That was the other downside with the raised beds, because we had learned that a while back too about garlic. Apparently, they won't necessarily survive in our climate, at least, in the raised beds, because they'll freeze more so because they're above ground. They're in ground, but they're above ground.
Well, I won't know because I didn't get around to planting them in the fall, so I'll be doing spring planting anyway. That might be something I could start fairly soon.
Yeah.
So Putty Cat says employers can still test for marijuana. Okay.
Yeah, here
Nice.
you have to be careful. If you suspect something, you got to be pretty sure before you try to force somebody to be tested. Because if you're wrong, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and I don't know how long the span those tests show for. Does it mean that they have to be like having just taken something, or?
Yeah, it's hard to know.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like more protections are for the people doing wrong than the employers. Or
Always is. That's for sure. Anything else happening? What else got going on? You must have more plans.
well, our oldest wants to start a jam making business, so we're gonna have to get on that. We're gonna try to do some unique jams. So if you guys have tried anything that is different than what you'd find in the store, I'd love to hear about it.
So one of the jams that Cindy made a few years ago, I don't touch jam anymore as much as I would love to. I try to avoid anything that I know has sugar, so I try to avoid the carbs, but was the pear jam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a really nice jam, I thought.
And I'm going to see if I can find that same recipe because I lose recipes. We're also going to do rhubarb mint, which we did do a video on. And I really enjoyed that. And it's different. It's not something you're going to go on to the store shelf and buy.
It's got an interesting tang.
Yeah. I'm going to do dandelion.
That's a lot of work.
It is, and it's also very seasonal, so you have to catch it when they're in full bloom. But yeah, so looking for other interesting ones. Be fun. It's great to start a little business and be an entrepreneur.
Try to encourage them to come up with stuff to do. They want to make money, so try to see if we could help them come up with different little.
Yeah, and they have to save half their money into savings.
Yeah.
And buy supplies from the other half. Kind of like taxes.
Yeah.
So you see what's left at the end.
Take
not
half
much.
their money to make them save it, so they get used to being taxed. Oh boy!
If only you could save your taxed money, that'd be nice.
You just have to find ways to write enough stuff up that you don't get taxed. That's the thing.
But yeah, that'll keep us busy.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what else. There's tons to do. It's just the whole spring cleaning, trying to declutter, and just an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it? Well, that's fair.
That's all I have on my mind right now.
it'll be nice this year too. I'll actually have my tractor available this year because last year I couldn't use my tractor much. I think we had talked about this. I put a couple of videos out because the steering had gone, so I could get around. Very difficult to get around, but I could. But then I had rebuilt. I had taken it apart and put in a steering box, and I kept the old one, which I planned to rebuild at some point, just as a backup, because it is an old Kubota, and it was hard. It was hard to find a replacement. So my hope is to have one on the shelf just in case, because I guess it's pretty common with the front loaders that steering box can go because they take a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah, maybe this year you can reinforce the bucket because you have the welder to learn.
Yeah, Cindy bought me a MIG welder to try.
Can you
I'm trying to figure out what that
elaborate
is.
on that because that sounds neat. One other one I wanted to try was jalapeno.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We had somebody give us some of that, right?
It was really good, yeah. It was kind of like a chutney.
Yeah, jalapeno something.
Yeah, I do have the recipe. She gave it to me.
It was an interesting. It was a nice jam. It was that hot yet sweet kind of. I don't know how to describe it, but it was good.
It was good. It's the kind you like have on crackers or something.
Yeah, it was good.
But I'm curious what.
Yeah, I have to look that up. Unless you can give us a rundown. Is that a fruit that's in your area? Muscadine.
Or maybe I'm saying it wrong.
I don't. Can't say I recognize it. Maybe it's something that doesn't grow here.
Yeah. It'd be neat to have like a good collection of unique ones because I think that'll definitely help the business.
If they could do something that you don't see in the store.
Yeah.
That's very true. Peach is another one that you can buy in a store, but it's expensive. But Cindy's mom has a couple peach trees, and we'll get the peaches from that sometimes and make jam, and I really enjoy that too. But again, can't take that.
I have tried.
Well, great. Yeah.
I have tried apple butter, and it was good. I don't know how it would keep in jars, but I'll look into it.
That's an interesting idea to do the wild grapes, because we have grapes that we grow here, but then we have all kinds of wild grapes that grow on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And
now those are after the first frost, right?
Yeah, I was going to say the ones we have. I don't know if they're the same for you guys, but the wild grapes that grow here, you basically want to leave them until the first frost, and then they get a little bit sweeter. Otherwise, they're pretty tart. I suppose if you're making jam, though, it really wouldn't matter. You usually put so much sugar in that it won't matter. But so, and Robbie's just letting us know that Hippie Callier isn't going live again today. Oh, I hope everything's okay. I know that can be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us know.
Thanks for letting us know.
Just looking at the muscadine again for a second. You say it's like a wild grape.
Oh.
Is it a different fruit that's just similar?
I didn't catch that either.
I'm just curious. I mean, I can Google it after. You don't have to do all the work for me. It's just curious.
I'll look that up right now. Let me see here. Muscadine.
Yeah, so thank you for the update, Robbie, and everyone can see the lineup on the bottom. So Hippie Callier is not going to be doing theirs, but everything else, as far as I know, should stay the same.
So a native grape species to the southeastern, south-central United States, thriving in a warm, humid climate from Florida to New Jersey and west to eastern Texas and Oklahoma. Known for their thick, tough skins, large size, and distinctive musky flavor.
Interesting.
You're going to have to send me some, because apparently I can't grow that here. Oh, that's not good. Oh.
Well, hopefully he can make a quick recovery. I don't know.
Hopefully it's nothing too serious. I know that can be a little tough right now. I know my mom is going through some stuff with my dad too, because he's got dementia, and it's not looking great there either. But Yeah, it's hard on people, right? Kind of roles reverse, I guess you might say. Parents take care of you, and eventually you end up having to take care of them. But
And do you happen to know how the hand is doing? It was her
Chris,
hand, right?
yeah. Hopefully
Geez, that
healed
looked
out.
so painful.
That looked just horrible. Yeah. So what has everybody else got going on this week aside from? I always have to keep in mind that you guys have much better weather as far as that goes. I always think to myself, what can I get done this week? And I look at the forecast to kind of get an idea if I can actually do anything. Because I was surprised the last few days, even though, like we said, it's been warmer, but not warm. But it's amazing how much snow has actually melted and receded. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, they're not hibernating like we are. So.
No, we're slowly coming out of our hibernation.
That's a lot better and doesn't look as bad.
Still hurts her at times. Oh
I
yeah,
imagine.
it's that one heck of an injury. That looked awful.
It's good that it's a lot better at least.
But it was good to in your video there, Robbie. It was good to see like your dad looks like he's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching where he got all. He must have a lot of trees he had to cut there because there was quite a few branches for treats for the cows and the goats. We're careful here because some of the stuff that we trim apparently the goats aren't allowed to have and things like that. I can't remember what all.
Yeah, I forget.
There's certain things that grow here that Cindy will always say to me, don't throw that in with them because
I'm trying to think what it is though.
I'm not sure. Is it the mulberry?
It could be. I don't know. I'm always Googling before we toss
Yeah,
them in. But
she's always concerned I'm going to feed them something they shouldn't have. I always assume that something that the animals will know what they can and can't eat, but maybe that doesn't always work the same. It's kind of like
they might know. They're picky.
Here we get a lot of what is the weed? Well, I call it weed. The butterflies like milkweed, is it or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the milkweed is one.
Is that the one you tell me not to throw to the chickens?
I have told you that, yes.
Yeah, because we get a lot of milkweeds and things like that. So I'll pull them out and Cindy pulls them and lets them dry because apparently if you throw them to the chickens, it's not good for them. And
yeah, it's basically, from what I understand, it's pretty poisonous for all the animals except the butterflies.
Really?
Yeah.
Your dad's 82, Robbie. Good for him.
Awesome.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it. Wow. Hopefully you got those genes. That's good.
Yeah. Staying active is important.
That's a big part, isn't it? Our neighbor was like that. He passed away a few years ago, but he was one of those guys. He was in his 80s, and you'd see him out, no shirt on, chopping wood, and always working, right? But
I believe he's 91.
I think when he passed away, and right up until then, he was still out chopping wood and doing the things that would make me look bad.
Robbie, I noticed in your video you also have a goat named Boots. I thought that was neat. But yours is a billy goat, right?
Yes.
It does sound more like a boy name, but our Boots is a girl.
Yeah.
And we saw Bert.
Yeah, the kids saw Bert, and they
thought it
don't
was
always
funny.
watch the videos with us. And we were in the vehicle, and we had the video on, and they're like, "They named the rooster after Daddy?" And Cindy's like, "Yeah, I think so." And then they started wondering if there was other animals with their names, and it's like, "Oh, I don't think so."
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still doesn't know it. Yeah, I won't lie. I wouldn't have thought he was that old.
We'd like to think they know what not to eat, but yeah, they're not always that smart.
Yeah.
ours seem very picky, but that doesn't mean they're smart enough to know what they're being picky about.
Yeah, I know.
Like I grow the I can never remember the name, the comfrey
Comfrey.
for them, but they don't usually want it.
No, the chickens seem to like it.
Yeah, all the poultry seems to enjoy it.
That's funny. I don't think I've seen any animals with that name, but it's Cindy.
Oh. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that either. Hopefully it was a good one.
Yeah. 10 more minutes, guys, and we'll probably get off, even though Hippie Callier is not having their live, we do have to still see our kids, who Cindy has had a nice break from. But, well,
he's just always away.
I'm always away, so for me it's not unusual. I think this is probably the longest. Well, they were overnight before, but it probably wasn't quite this long.
Well, it was one night, so
yeah,
it's a great dog. I'm glad.
It is funny. But I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't know if there was something else we're going to talk about or not.
But I will be very happy when we're done our live and it doesn't look like the sun's setting.
Yeah, because believe it or not, for us right now, as I look out the window, it's starting to actually, the sun's starting to go down.
Yeah,
but
it'll be nice when we still have hours to work with afterwards.
Yeah, it's funny how this time, winter time, it's already dark by now, but summertime, it's after 10 o'clock, and you're yelling at the kids to go to bed, and they're like, but it's still light out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, go to sleep.
Yeah, then put the sun down. And I'm like, yeah, but at 4 o'clock in the winter, it's dark, and you don't go to sleep then.
Yeah, it was funny.
Can you imagine those places where there's like 6 months of daylight and 6 months of
like when you get
darkness.
Up in the Arctic areas and things like that? We were actually looking at some things I saw on Facebook where people were in Antarctica on vacation and things like that. And I said to Cindy, it'd be like a trip of a lifetime. And she's like, why would you want to go someplace so cold? And it's like, but it'd still be neat.
Yeah, talk to me in the summer. Don't tell me that now. I'm just looking forward to a little bit of warmth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I might try this
quiet.
again.
It's nice. I like it in here.
Yeah, this room works well. It's a nice. One of our boys has started coming out. When I come out, he's been starting to come out, because I do have a computer out here for them as well that's set up with their profile, so they can do their YouTube and their Minecraft and whatever, Roblox and stuff like that.
Oh, they have a camera for us.
Oh, did it? Oh, it did. I'll fix that right now. But this was the reason I actually stopped using this particular camera, because it wasn't working as well. Did that fix that? Hopefully it did.
Seems like it.
How hard do you think breaking up a parking pad would be? How big is this parking pad? And do you have access to a jackhammer? I guess would be the other, maybe something you would want. Because I'm assuming the parking pad is probably at least, they're usually at least 4 to 5 inches thick, right? But
I'm clueless.
yeah.
This is like a driveway, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. Like just an area to park on, yeah.
10 by 6.
10 by 6. Yeah. Really depends on how thick it is, I think. If it's not, if it's 4 inches, it might not be too bad, as long as you can get access to some kind of a jackhammer that would make it easier. I think otherwise, I don't know what you would use to. Otherwise, I think you'd have to dig around it and swing at it with a mallet or something, but or like a sledgehammer, but that would be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Be nice if somebody had a backhoe or something like that, if they had access to it to kind of pull it up a bit maybe, but to break it up would be the hard part.
I assume a jackhammer is something you can rent at the right places.
Probably, but so it's off the drive, so it's kind of like an area to park a camper or something probably. Yeah, I don't know, Tracy and Tim. But my guess would be it wouldn't be that hard if you have access to the stuff you need. Like if you have a tractor or some kind of like Cindy said, maybe a rental store for a jackhammer. I don't know if they come electric or if they're all gas, but if you can get your hands on one, that would probably make it a lot easier. But you'd still have to somehow dig around it, I think, just to be able to break it away. But I would imagine it would probably only be, I would assume, no more than maybe 5 inches thick. But it really depends on how much somebody spent at the time.
Yeah, it's probably getting started would be the hardest part.
Yeah, I think so too, until you got going.
Yeah, once you get it, the start of the breaking up,
Yeah.
probably go fast after that.
And then what do you do with it? I mean, you guys have access to a dump or something like that, maybe? Or I guess if somebody wants fill, sometimes people will put that at the bottom of a big hole or something first. Better space for a chicken coop and run. Gotcha. More room.
More chickens.
More chickens. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna cut back on ours a little bit. Especially we still don't know for sure. I know we talked about this before, but we're not sure where we're gonna end up getting our feed because of the mill closing up. So
We
called everywhere, but it's just so expensive. It's so strange that we're able to get it for such a good price where we are getting it, but unfortunately they're not going to be around. So we're making extra trips and stocking up to kind of get a little buffer built in for a couple months at least maybe, and then we'll have to figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah, and if we have to just cut back to be enough for us,
yeah,
that's not. I mean, it's not worth it to do all the work to sell eggs at a loss or even at cost.
Yeah,
there's no point in having the extra chickens
no,
for that. So.
It wouldn't be so bad if everybody put their price up, you know what I mean? But you don't want to be that first one, even though, you know what, like, I suppose if we were going to do it, this would have been the time of year to do it because you don't get as many eggs, and we've got people, like, we literally have probably a waiting list of 10 people to buy eggs. Everybody always says, they love your eggs. But realistically, the cost to raise the birds is going to be too much.
The way they're laying right now, our list would put us probably into mid-March before we can start taking on new orders.
Crazy.
But,
and that's the other part of that too, is there's customers that we've kind of pushed off because they order so much, right? Like we do have
somebody who will take like 12 flats at a time, but in order to save up 12 flats for this one person, we're going to have to turn down a bunch of other small orders, and we don't want to lose people.
Yeah. So,
but if we stock up on feed, like I don't know how long the feed stays good, but if it stays good for like 6 months, we get 6 months worth of feed. Not to think about winter again, but maybe it'll take us closer to the time of year where we want to raise our prices anyway.
Yeah, I don't think 6 months of feed is a lot of feed, but because we go through about a bag a day, so you can imagine 6 months of 50-pound bags. That's a lot of feed. But anyway, so what have we got? We have less than a minute, so we will start wrapping this up, I guess, because we do need to run.
Sign up is on the bottom, so everybody tune in.
Yeah, so take a look at that channel lineup, guys. For anybody that's here with us or anybody that tunes in and watches this later on, that is the Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening homestead lineup for the lives. And just a reminder that Hippie Cow Yay is not having theirs, so there will be 1 hour before Money Pit Homestead will probably be having theirs. And then right behind Money Pit Homestead will be Wild Huckleberry. And then I want to say this week it will be Rebecca, Touched by Yarn, followed by possibly Red Dirt Rooster Road. But anyway, we'll see who shows up and who doesn't. How is a bag? How much? I'm assuming you mean how much is a bag of feed, John. But for us right now, we pay about $14 a bag.
That's
for
a 55-pound bag.
Yeah, for 25 kgs, which like Cindy says 50. I guess it's 55 pounds. I always thought they were 50 pounds, but maybe they're 55.
They tell me 55.
Okay, 55-pound bag. But everywhere else that we call around now, we've called probably 6-7 different mills that are within probably a half-hour, 40-minute radius, and we're looking at anywhere from high 19s to high 21s. So it's a $5 to $6 increase that it would cost us per day. So it's a big difference. So it would basically be probably that would probably typically be our profit from when we sell our eggs, is the difference. So that's why we're thinking it might not be worth doing it.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Maybe
we'll see.
everyone's getting their feet at the same spot and they'll raise their prices.
Yeah, or it just takes a couple people to do it and they're able to follow suit. Because even in the store now, you go to the grocery stores, you're paying almost $10 a flat here anyway.
Yeah.
And that's for white eggs. So for us to charge $10, which is what we're charging now, maybe it doesn't make any sense anymore. Maybe it should be closer to closer to the 11. So
Yeah, or we just sell them by the dozen, which
yeah, you're right, John. It's a lot, especially like I said, we go through basically a bag a day, because we use it for the ducks and the turkeys and everything too, the quail. But maybe we're just getting too much going on here and need to cut back. But we'll see. Anyway, guys, we better wrap it up, and we really appreciate seeing you guys again. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting us. And we'll hopefully see you next week. And we did, like I said, we did do a video today that will hit probably tomorrow. I think we'll probably get it up. All right, guys, have a blessed week. We'll see.